Hey everybody, this is just a short video about the word mana. Mana is used in many fantasy games and stories, generally as a kind of resource that powers magic spells. Most people who are into fantasy know this word, but not many know where it comes from. The word originates from the Maori language, which is not a language that English typically borrows words from. So let's have a look at how this word came to be so widely used in fantasy. Mana is an important concept in Maori culture. As with most culturally important concepts, it's impossible to give a simple translation into English. It's most commonly translated as power, authority, or status, although none of these really captures the full meaning of the word. People, places, and objects may all have mana, and those with more mana have a greater cultural or spiritual significance. This word has relatives in other languages too. For example, in Hawaiian, mana refers to a kind of spiritual power, and a person can gain or lose mana based on their actions. Other Polynesian languages also have similar words with similar meanings, although the exact usage and nuance is, of course, different between the different languages. All of these words come from a Proto-Polynesian word, which probably originally referred to powerful natural phenomena, like storms or thunder, which were considered to be manifestations of supernatural force. Over time, the meaning of the word shifted, until it took on the meanings that it now has in various different languages. The first use of the word mana in English was by anthropologists to describe the concept as it exists in Polynesian cultures. The word was later extended to apply to similar concepts in different cultures around the world. The first use of the word mana in a fantasy context was in the 1969 short story Not Long Before the End by Larry Niven. In this story, mana is a resource that powers spells, and when the mana in an area is gone, magic no longer works there. Niven continued to use this word in other short stories and novels set in the same universe, and this inspired many other fantasy writers and game designers, to the point that the word mana is now widely used in fantasy. One last thing that I want to note is that mana has nothing to do with manna from the Bible. I've seen several people online assume that it does, probably because most English speakers are much more familiar with the Bible than they are with Polynesian culture. The word manna comes from the Hebrew word man, which is the word used in the Hebrew Bible to describe this substance. The origin of this word is not entirely clear. Traditionally, it's been said that it comes from manhu, meaning what is it? However, it's more likely that it's related to words in other Semitic languages. Perhaps it's related to ancient Egyptian menu, which is a word used for a kind of fragrant plant, although it's not entirely clear which plant. Or alternatively, it could be related to the Arabic word man, which means aphid. This would fit with the theories that suggest that manna was in fact honeydew, which is a sugary liquid that's secreted by aphids and some other insects. Whatever the origin of the word is, it has no relation to mana in the fantasy sense. So there you go, that's the origin of the word mana, and how it came to be so widely used in fantasy. As always, thanks for watching, and I hope you found this video interesting.